The concept of the superego is a key component of Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory of personality. According to Freud, the superego is the part of the psyche that represents an individual's moral and ethical code, and serves as a kind of internalized moral compass. It is responsible for evaluating the individual's actions and thoughts, and determining whether they are right or wrong. The superego is said to develop during the second stage of psychosexual development, which is known as the latency stage. During this stage, children begin to internalize the values and morals of their parents and other authority figures. As they grow older, the superego becomes more and more powerful, and begins to exert a greater influence over the individual's behavior and thoughts. According to Freud, the superego is in constant conflict with the ID, which represents the individual's primal impulses and desires. The ID is driven by the pleasure principle, which seeks immediate gratification of the individual's desires, while the superego is driven by the reality principle, which seeks to delay gratification and consider the long-term consequences of actions. The superego is also in conflict with the ego, which represents the individual's sense of self and their ability to adapt to the demands of reality. The ego must balance the demands of the ID and the superego, and find a way to satisfy both while also avoiding the negative consequences of their conflicting demands. The superego is closely related to the concept of conscience, and is often thought of as the inner voice that tells us what is right and wrong. It is responsible for feelings of guilt and shame when we fail to live up to our own moral standards, and for feelings of pride and self-esteem when we do. In a healthy individual, the superego is able to exert a moderating influence over the ID, helping to control impulses and desires that would be harmful or destructive. However, in individuals with a weak or poorly developed superego, the ID may be able to exert too much influence, leading to impulsive or reckless behavior. On the other hand, if the superego is too strong and rigid, it can lead to feelings of guilt and self-doubt, and may inhibit the individual's ability to act in their own best interests. It can also lead to a rigid adherence to moral and ethical codes, even when they are harmful or unrealistic. In conclusion, the superego is an important concept in psychoanalytic theory. It is a part of the psyche that represents an individual's moral and ethical code and serves as an internalized moral compass. It develops during the latency stage of psychosexual development, and it is in constant conflict with the ID, which represents the individual's primal impulses and desires, and the ego, which represent the individual's sense of self and their ability to adapt to the demands of reality. A healthy balance between the superego, the ID, and the ego is essential for mental well-being.